Okay, good morning. Oh my gosh. I think the devil really don't want this word to get out. But again, I'm back. I am Emily Williams, and I am just a person who loves God so much that I am willing to be obedient. And as much as I uh, hate speaking in front of people because I hate having to be vulnerable in front of anybody, period. Um, I'm here because I am being willing and obedient, and I hope you don't mind. But today I am going to put all of the pieces together for you um, as I speak to my daughter. I'm going to record myself because I find that that might be a little bit easier for me to get the to share what it is that I need to share because it's easy for me to talk to her. It's not easy for me to talk to you. It's easy for me to be vulnerable to her, but it's not easy for me to be vulnerable to you. So bear with me as I share with my daughter what God has revealed to me on this morning. Mm. Okay, so this morning. So last night, that's where I was at. So last night, okay, let's try this again. I'm gonna tell you the devil's busy because I didn't hit myself upside the head. I had people come to the door. He does not want me to share this. I'm telling you, it's gonna help somebody. He called this a food supply. Okay, so I got up last night and he took me to Psalms 27, and I already made a video about that. And in Psalms 27, he showed me today that he was showing me last night, but I didn't even catch on to it last night. I just caught on to it in the middle of one of these videos. And so he said that the Lord is my light and my Savior. Whom shall I fear? He is the strength of my life. And I'm reading from the Bible, not from the easy to read version. And it says, when the wicked man, even mine enemies and my foes, come upon me to eat me up, my flesh, they stumble, shall eat upon my flesh, they stumble and fall. And then the easy to read version, it said, when my enemies come upon me to destroy my body. Okay, so take that in mind. So then I wake up this morning, right? And I wake up at 4 o'clock on the dot, 400. So I turn over, go back to sleep. I wake up at 4:17, and I finally get on up because I see a text message saying that my rapist have took a plea, and he's about to do 25 years, maximum security prison, Angola. So then I get on Facebook or whatever, and I lose my phone because I'm distracted, right? So 5:50 come, and I get my computer and I open it up and it's 5:50. I'm like, okay, so Lord, what you doing? What is you trying to say? So I said, okay, well let me figure this stuff out. So I get my stuff or whatever, and I'm looking up my computer or whatever. I still can't find my phone. So when I Google the strong concordance and on 550 it say to speak out, to be faithful. The 400 mean food supply, meat, cereal, to cry out with a loud voice. Um, the 417 mean when someone is bent in a particular direction. Obedience to God, disobedience to God brings storms in our life. So it's like, okay, you wake up at 4 o'clock, right? Okay, God say, I'm giving you a food supply. I'm giving you a source. I'm giving you food. But I turned over and went back to sleep. 400 means to cry out loud. So God is telling me to get up and cry out loud with a loud voice. Get up and tell it. Get up and say something. I'm giving you something to tell. Get up. Turn over. I go back to sleep. 417. 417, someone bent in a particular direction. My mind is made up that I'm going to keep quiet about this. My mind is made up that this should not be told. Like, I'm nobody. You feel me? Like, nobody needs to hear what I went through. He's being sentenced. He's being served. And I have nothing to do with this case. So, therefore, God work it out without me. You feel me? And God is like, no, I told you to be obedient. That's why you're going through the things that you're going through now. Obedience is what brings you out of the storm. Disobedience is what puts you in the middle of the storm. And so then as I stroll down, it say, just breathe. So then I'm like, so I say, then 5:50, I got distracted on Facebook. I don't be on Facebook. I have not been on Facebook in months. How did I get distracted on Facebook? Because anything to keep me from 5:50 speaking out. I'm not, like, Satan does not want me to speak out. He does not want me to help other people heal. He does not want me to help other people get their break the chains off their life. You understand? Okay, so then I say boom. So then I go record these videos, and want none of my videos uploaded. Not one. And so then I say, well, I'm not no preacher, I'm not no teacher. Why do I have to get on there and tell the people where I got my word from, or why I was put in a position to encourage them? And he was like, because it's me, not you. So you gonna be willing and obedient, or you're not gonna be obedient at all. So I was being obedient, but I wasn't being willing. I wasn't willing to do it the way that God was telling me to do it. So every video that I tried to even record the video, like once, I think one video was like 30 minutes, one was like an hour, but these videos, he would not even let these videos upload to my computer. Period. But then when I went back to see, well, what could be possibly going on? I seen 919, right? And so I was like, well, Lord, what this mean? And so I strolled down a little bit, and then I see the song, and it's in parentheses, it say, chains are broken. And so then I look up 919, and it means a breach, a leak in a building. So basically God was telling me there's a leak in your building. You're trying to do things your way, not my way. So you're breaching. So it's basically like a breach of contract. You can't do things your way. If you're contracted with somebody to do a job a certain way, you can't say, I don't want to do a job the way you want me to do. I'm going to do it my way. You breach the contract. I mean, I got a bunch of holes in this building that I need to patch up, because in order for the chains to break, I need to be able to do things the way that he's telling me to do it, regardless of how hard it is, regardless of how afraid I am, which is why I guess God woke you up so that I can be a little bit more comfortable to do what it is that he wants me to do. So I thank him for that. And so then he say, well, as I stroll down, he say, well, repair. So the word repair stuck out. He's like, oh, I'm going to repair these things that are broken. And so I'm like, okay, Lord, I understand a little bit better now. And so then I say, well, 25. I said, well, he got 25 years. It's 25 years later. I said, so if he giving me these numbers and he's actually helping me and showing me different directions and steps to take, then what 25 mean? So 25 mean to love, to wish well. So basically, 25 years after you abused me, you gotta back up 25 years. Because God loved me. And because he did not let my enemies eat up my flesh. He said they should stumble and they fail. That's what he gave me last night. This is what he gave me today. So then I say, well, Lord, but it's not 25 years no more. It's 26 years now. So I know 25 years is his minimum. So therefore he's going to do 25 plus years. So that means you're going to back up 25 plus any other time that I have to suffer with the things that you've done to me. So then I looked up the number 26, and it says a feast of love. God loved me so much that I had to endure living with this, knowing that this man was running free for 25 years, doing this to every other child he could possibly do it to, because nobody listened to me. And here I am 26 years later. God says goodwill and affection. And I'm giving you the feast of love. What greater gift of love can you give me than the gift to know that my cries to you have not gone unheard? That not just me, but every other little girl that he has abused will see justice. So then I say, well, I found out, Lord, since we on the roll. I said, well, I found out about the guy on my 36th birthday, October 25th. 2023. So clearly, all of this have to have some type of significance. And it does. So, I am so excited. 36 means without family. A man of no name or reputation. My father is goodness. That's what 36 means. 36, I moved out here to this town with nobody, no family. And I felt like a coward. And it also means cowardly. I felt like a coward because everything I did to try to protect myself when I was younger, it never worked. And so as I grew older, I felt like I didn't have anybody. And then God say, my father is goodness. So God say, I'm your father. So you don't have nobody. I'm here. So then when I looked up 1025, it means a newborn child. To be born again. And it also means a valley house. He said, I will place you in the valley of the shadow of death. We will fear no evil, for I am with you. And it is a valley near the border of Asher. Asher means to be happy and blessed. So if you on the border, if God is saying, I'm creating you as a newborn child and I'm placing you in the valley of the shadow of death, where you should fear no evil, and this border, this is on the border of blessed and happy. You're not blessed and happy yet, but you're on the border of blessed and happy. And 2022 meant hill, countryside, to pour into you. God. So you telling me this. You allow me to find out that my rapist was finally caught after 25 years. On October the 25th of 2022, on my 36th birthday. Because you're telling me that you're giving me another chance to start over as a newborn child, because you have kept me in the shadow of death. in the valley of the shadow of death, all this time on the border of being happy and blessed. And now you are bringing me to a mountainside, a mountain hill countryside where you could pour into me. Because I was without family, I was cowardly, I was a man with no name and without reputation, but you allowing me to see that you good to me now. That I'm not alone, that you are my Father, that you have never left me nor forsaken me. Okay, so then I say, oh, we on a ball. Well, I just found all of this stuff out in 2023. So, what's the significance with it being 2023, right after my birthday, 2023? So, 2023 means to supply. He say, I supply, I provide, I furnish. He say, two mountains in Palestine. And when I looked at Palestine, that's the Holy Land. Promised land. So that's my healing place where I can finally close the chapter on something that has been secretly destroying me for over 25 years. So I said, well, if I can understand this, what more can I understand? So then I say, oh Lord, I looked up today, 11/7, because today I found out that about all of this stuff. And today, 11/7, 117, 117 means, oh, how excellent. Oh, how excellent is he that today I found out. That is awesome. So then I say, well, if all of these dates making sense to me, what else would make sense? I said, well, all this happened when I was 11. So I looked up in the Strong Concordance the number 11. 11 means a place of destruction and ruin. Wow. Wow. At 11 years old, I was sexually abused, which prolonged throughout the years. And it destroyed me. It literally ruined me. And so I say, well, what about 16? Because at 16, I finally decided to tell his mom. And she counseled it out. So then when I looked up 16, it was Reed's. And then as I read down, it said, he who decides initiated infant speech. Compare. It says doing of what which is good, well doing. So I spoke up. I did the right thing. I was a child. I spoke out. It says initiating infant speech. When she came to me and she called herself prophesizing over me, and she called herself telling me that it was some things that I needed to come forth about and about fornication, and I spoke out. She initiated, and this infant spoke. And it also says swift. She was so swift to decide that she was ready to brush it under the rug. It says he who decides. Somebody else decided my fate when I decided to do the right thing. When I finally stepped up and found the courage to speak out. Somebody else decided for me. So then I said, well, Now, all of this making sense to me. It's crazy. But in real life, like, literally makes sense to me. So then I say, well, I met my husband. I met your dad at 19. And I don't want the people to think that I talk bad about your father, because one thing about it, regardless of what we have been through, I encourage you to still reach out to him, to still love him, because you might be the only love or the only light that he may see. So with saying that, I looked up 19 because I was 19 when I met him. And 19 means personal quality on the kind side rather than the righteous side. Doesn't appear to be secular slaughter, as given in Ezekiel 21:15, the glittering sword. He was literally the best thing that could have ever, that I thought could have ever happened to me at that time. He presented himself to be the kindest, sweetest, most gentle person I could ever meet. But he basically had a glittering sword. The sword looked good. Feel me? If you got somebody walking up to you with a sword that's been bedazzled, and you, let me see, and they bringing it to you like they want to show it to you, like it's just there for the trophy, but the whole time they plotting on how they gonna use it against you. But they really good at heart, but they're not righteous. You understand? And it's different because the Satan has some good qualities. You understand? But he doesn't make him good. So I met him when I was 19, right? And then I say, well, Lord, I had my baby when I was 23. So now, man, I'm questioning all kind of steps in my life. You understand? So now I'm putting all kind of pieces of the puzzle together. Like, okay, so I wonder what I'm going to get now. So on 23, it says, my father has gathered. I am angry, grieve much, and to feel pain. From 19 to 23, I was on a war path. Well, I'm going to say from 11 to 23, I was on a war path, doing anything and everything, and I really didn't have, I don't have excuses, but you died in my stomach, and I grieved that, and I felt that pain from childbirth. And it's like he's telling me that God gathered because he was angry with me and the way that I was living, and he knew that he had to create something to give me another chance. And I tell you all the time that if it wasn't for you, that I probably would be dead. Because I was out there living a life to where I didn't really care. Kill me, I don't care. I want to die. What you gonna do? Woo, woo, woo. Like, that's the type of life I live. I mean, now I regret it. But I'm glad that I'm here. And so then I say, well, what else I could find now? 2009. The year of your birth. Guess what it means? Behold your punishment. So I said, okay. So I said, well, what can I find out from her date of birth? So I looked up 427. 427 was without cooperation or knowledge of, without someone's will. And which is crazy because, like I told you, when I got pregnant with you, I used protection. I was on birth control. Like, there was no possible way you should have been here. Like, you should not have made it through all of that. But God says, get what? So that means, let's go back. So that means I had you at 23. 4/27, 2009. So, because the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, they gathered up there, and they say, well, we need to do something about her because she's getting she's going too far left, and we need her to come on back right. And so they didn't say, well, because we're angry, we're going to let her feel some pain. So he say on April 27th, bow, behold your punishment. Regardless of whether you cooperate or not, bow, you got to see it. Right? So I was like, well, I can understand that. Because your birth changed my whole entire life, right? So then I say, well, I wonder what Bella means. So Bella was born 3/9/2021. The same year I got married. Oh, 2020. Oh, look up 2020 because I looked up 2021. Look up 2020 in Strong's Concordance. So Bella was born 3/9, right? And so on 3/9, 3/9 means holy place, sanctuary. My father is Elohim El Shaddai. So basically, it means that God is transitioning the birth of my last child was a transition, and in 2020 means to let shine. So I was supposed to be going into my holy place, my sanctuary, and 2020 means to let shine. So this was supposed to be another chance, basically. Go into the holy place, shine. And I didn't do that. I didn't do that. I didn't go into the holy place. So July 2nd of that year, I got married. 7/2 means to carry away. A leading, conducting, training, education, discipline. I went into training. So my marriage basically was training ground, right? So July 2nd, 2020, God said that he was preparing me, he was carrying me away, conducting, training, educating, disciplining me to shine. So I had left my husband April 14th, 2021, right? So April 14th, 2021, April 14th, 4/14 means to become more tolerable and endurable by the father of an officer of Solomon. So after I finished my training, which was me deciding to abort my marriage after 9 months, and those 9 months are very significant as well. But it's like he took me through those 9 months, which is like birthing a baby, right? So he say, you pregnant for 9 months. So he carried me away. He let your daddy marry me and take me away for 9 months to lead me, conduct me, train me, educate me, discipline me on how to become more tolerable and more endurable, right? And so then I say, well, if all of that means so, what do 2021 mean? It say prepare your weapons of war. So April of 2021, after I left your dad, I got my divorce papers. I am in the middle of war with your dad for you guys. Right? So then I said, okay, Lord. So now all of this make a lot of sense to me. So, what else you got to tell me? So then I say, well, I got my divorce papers in the mail on 6/22. 6/22 means to remove. Huh? To remove? Wow. Like it's so amazing how he is showing me how he done already lined my life up. And now I can go back years later and actually put the pieces together. Like, it is so amazing how he's showing me that everything that he did was for a purpose. It was already set up. It was lined up. Like, he already knew that it was going to happen. Huh? So God is literally telling me every event in my life has already been orchestrated. Yeah. So then I say, well, Lord, I got my divorce. The judge stamped my divorce on 6/18. 6/18 mean a storehouse. And it's crazy because throughout this whole period of divorce and child custody, we didn't have nothing. We didn't have nothing. We struggled. We slept in our car. We didn't move like 5 times in the last 2 years, just trying to stay above the ground and afford to pay for a lawyer. It is hard, but we made it. And it was like God protected us and he kept us through the whole time. And it's like now on today, 11/7, which means, and I am repeat, oh, how excellent, majestic, wide, large, godly, noble, oh, how worthy are you that I can finally, God has finally given me the grace. He's given me the ability. He's given me the yearn. He's given me the zeal to want to close this chapter and to want to understand and to want other people to be able to understand. So as I close up my conversation with my child, and because the rest of our conversation is going to be strictly mother and daughter, because I like to allow her to ask me questions and all of these different things. But you guys, God is amazing. Y'all got teach these things to your children. Share these things with the world. Don't just be obedient, you guys. Be willing and obedient. If this video can help one person, I know it's long, but if it can just help one person, I have done what it is that God has set me out to do. I don't care who will talk about me. I don't care who will be in disbelief. I literally do not care, because I am literally putting my pieces together. I am literally healing my broken heart. I am literally doing whatever it is that God is going to require of me to get to the next level. So I pray that each and every one of you guys find it in your heart to do the same thing at all costs, regardless of what it will cost you. I don't care if this video will cost me my life. I don't care if this video will cost me my chance to become a wife. I do not care. And it was one more thing that God showed me. One more thing. Oh, 37. And I'm going to end it right here. 37. God allowed all of these things to transpire before my 37, at the beginning of my 37th year. 37 means to make holy, to set apart, to purify, to regard as special. My Father is the due to become the bride of David. So in order for me to get to the next level, in order for me to become the wife that God has called me to be, in order for me to get my kingdom spouse, in order for me to continue to my next journey, I had to figure these out. I had to complete this puzzle so that I can move on to the next one. I had to close this chapter. I had to come out of the valley of shadow of death, off the border of Asher. I had to come off the border of blessed and happiness. I had to actually climb onto the mountain and then go off of the one mountain and onto the two mountains into the land of the holy place where God has created us to be. And the land of the holy place is where I will find my happiness, where I will find the blessings God has bestowed upon me, is where I will find peace, is where I will find healing, is where I will get everything that the enemy has tried to steal from me over the last 25 years. The devil did not get the glory. Just because these things in my life have been delayed for 25 years, just like he have to go back and back those 25 years up, Satan have to go back and he got to back those 25 years up on my life. Help me. Help you. Save our future. God is so good.